ladies and gentlemen. All right, cool. So let me start off with the S&P 500 real quick. So time and date, Arizona time, S&P 500. So look, let me take my indicator off. Look, yesterday I was telling you how these two weekly right here were gonna act like hard support to break on down, and once it started breaking on down, testing that weekly and sustaining in that weekly throughout the day, the more chances of the market breaking on down, especially throughout the nighttime, especially throughout the morning when all the data came out. And if we stay below those two weekly resistance, especially towards the end of the day, especially like towards 11:45, 12:30, or even earlier, 10 o'clock in the morning. Now it's going to show you, indicate the market was going to drop after that, especially if we close the day below it or right on the weekly. So let me see where we closed yesterday. So you can see yesterday, we've only ended up breaking it. And then today, we pretty much been trying to shoot above it, which I doubt happening. But since we have Powell, this is the last time, this is the last chance he's gonna be able to sustain this or be able to sustain it, because since we have a Jackson tomorrow, I forgot what time, if it's around 9 o'clock, then you guys see the market rally on earlier or just sustain above this weekly. Now that it's resistance, it's gonna try to break it above it, because that's the last chance that really have to keep this momentum, this rally momentum going. Otherwise, we're gonna break that weekly, the daily Fibonacci finally, and we're gonna either close somewhere down here, which will be in 6,000, what is it? 6,300, pretty much in that range, from 6,300 to 6,342. But even it could be even worse than that, and end up breaking towards that and end up closing at pretty much 6,300. That'll be your price, because we have a thick layer of resistance right here. But that news is very bad too, and the fact that it's breaking able through all this thick resistance right here, it let me know that the market is really scared. And tomorrow's data, Jackson Hole comment could either smash the market finally and put it in the frenzy of, oh my gosh, running around. It's like headless chicken running around. That's what the market may look like tomorrow. Or Powell's gonna say, be very dovish, be very positive, whatnot, that the market's gonna react, and you gotta see it break this resistance right here that you see. And we're gonna end the day most likely up here or high up here. Watch, the market's gonna react. We're happy tomorrow if we have that good news. Then you're gonna see, because every single, pretty much like Ethereum, Bitcoin, XRP, Cardano are all hanging on this either a daily trend line or a very important price, and they're all telling you they're barely hanging on, just like the fucking cartoon Simba, where the dad is barely hanging on. Well, fucking like I said, Powell is Scarface, and depending on fucking Scarface, it could end up like the original movie, or somehow Scarface has a different opinion or changes his mind and saves him or whatnot. Anyways, let me break it down now. I'm gonna put all my bullshit up, so I know it's gonna be confusing to a bunch of you new people watching this. So here we've been on this weekly trend line. We've been upward on a weekly trend line. We've been testing this weekly trend line like crazy. We've been testing this 50 Fibonacci, this daily 50 Fibonacci. That's what this orange 50 means right here, that it's a 50 Fibonacci. Since I have all this bullshit, I like to mark off the 50 Fibonacci of each candle and label it with indicating the color to the, so for example, dark blue is 8-hour candle, white is 1-hour candle, and daily is orange. The reason why I only have 3 is because from the daily to the 12-hour candle is focused on here. The 8-hour candle is here. From the 8 to the 3-hour candle is pretty much focused in between these two. They don't move. So these are my key areas that I want the market to stay in between to still be bullish. Otherwise, we break this daily, Yeah, we're gonna close somewhere down here, or even worse down here. Like I said, in the 3,000, 6,300, or we're gonna get saved and most likely come up here to the 6,400 range where the 8-hour candle Fibonacci's at. Let me zoom in closer, you guys, because I know this shit doesn't make sense. You see a whole fucking lines, a whole bunch of drawings. So you see how the market here is hanging? I told you guys earlier today in the video how the market is gonna be pretty much sustaining this area right here. Later on tonight, I was gonna show you guys what the market was gonna do. So your sweet time is 11:45 to 12:30. It really tells you where the market is gonna end up going. And if it doesn't shoot above that from that area where it's at, it's gonna start breaking it down and testing this daily Fibonacci. So by right now, this should have been up to this 1-hour candle 50 Fibonacci right here. Because then what happens is from 1 to 2 or from 10 to 2, it's gonna try to break through this. As you can see, we've been just chilling here for a while. So if we're not here by 2 o'clock and we just sustain here, no, not by 2 o'clock, but we're still here by like 1:15, the market most likely gonna come back down and test this right here. So we're gonna come back down 2, 3, and then bullshit here 4, 5, and then we're pretty much gonna get stuck here in this range. The market is so scared of what Powell's gonna say that you're not gonna see, creeping up through the morning or even at 5, 6, 7 in the morning. You're gonna see it hanging in the market in this area right here. I'll be surprised if it breaks through this. I'll be surprised if it breaks to 6,386. Because again, this is the weekly, those 2 weeklies that it passed on Wednesday, I believe, that I was trying to pass and hold. Well, that's going to be a hard resistance. So this is going to be your key area to pass tomorrow and break above 6,400. Otherwise, if we stay in this range tomorrow, whatnot, I doubt it. Tomorrow we're either like we're going to fucking break or we're going to hold this shit up like crazy. And Bitcoin's going to follow. See, Bitcoin's also scared too. Bitcoin's just been chilling here the whole time. Let me take my bullshit off. You go to the weekly. We already broke on fucking weekly support. So like I said, tomorrow is gonna either save Bitcoin. This is the weekly right here. So tomorrow news is either gonna save Bitcoin and keep that momentum rally movement going, or it's gonna that shit fall on down and it's gonna do the whole it is it for Bitcoin, blah 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 blah, all that fucking bullshit. Which is not. It's just a discount opportunity. See, even right here, the daily Bitcoin's telling you, yeah, Powell's gonna save us or Powell is gonna destroy us. And people are gonna panic, the altcoins are gonna go down, people are gonna sell their Ethereum, people are gonna sell their Bitcoin, their XRP, because they hear bullshit from the YouTubers and the media. And then in a couple of weeks or months, the market's gonna pick up again, and so on, so on. You're gonna regret selling your bullshit, your stocks. Same thing with the market. All this, it's a fucking discount. Both markets are synchronized. So tomorrow you're gonna see Bitcoin hanging out in the range of 111 to 109, 108 in that area, and closing that area most likely. Well, again, it's gonna get saved. The market's telling you, even Ethereum. See Ethereum, you see how Ethereum's still bullish and has that V shape, and it's still holding that 50% and wants to shoot above. Again, the market's telling you how it's gonna destroy us tomorrow, and you're gonna see probably Ethereum go to 3,900. I don't see Ethereum having a crazy drop, but I do see it coming down to 3,900 or 3,800, 700, yeah, 800 in the between 900 and 800, 4,300 or 4,000. I mean 6,400 or stupid ass 4,400 or 4,300 in that range. I don't see Ethereum dropping like crazy, but Ethereum will tell you how strong crypto really is. If you see Ethereum bleeding like crazy, then that might scare. Then that might indicate, hey guys, we might be dropping next week also whatnot. XRP is telling you the same thing. It's hanging on by a thread barely. Again, tomorrow it's gonna save us, take us back to $3, or it's gonna finally break us and we're gonna go down to the 256, 254. I don't really see it going down to 245. I just see it holding in between 256, 247 around there. But yeah, you guys, pretty much tomorrow's data, even Palantir, I mean NVIDIA. I saw this today. This is a daily. And I was holy shit, we're about to drop if Powell says some fucking bad news. You're gonna see NVIDIA go down to possibly 268, 266, 265. Even Palantir. Look at Palantir, how it's barely hanging on the support. So we have the bad news tomorrow. You can see Palantir going to the 137s. Yeah, the 137s, 134. That'll be a sweet ass deal. And which I want right here. If we go down, you're gonna see BMNR, which is Tom Lee stock, go down to the 32, 36. Hopefully, shit. Hopefully it goes lower than that so I can buy some. But besides that, people, that's pretty much it. I know that it was complicated, but there's your time and date. We ended up with this stock right here. But so pretty much, Powell's either gonna save the market or it's gonna trigger the market and go into the panic and chickens running around without heads. And the market going down. Bitcoin's over. It's all time high. Blah, blah, all that.